An ancient ship stayed silent until a human triggered its shocking awakening. Captain Elias Monroe had flown through countless sectors of the galaxy, but nothing compared to the silence that greeted him in this forgotten region. Stars shimmered faintly through clouds of cosmic dust, and derelict ships floated like lost ghosts. Yet amidst the floating ruins, one object drew his attention like a magnet. It was massive, bigger than any vessel Elias had ever seen. Its hull was blackened by time, covered in alien markings that shimmered faintly as his ship's sensors swept over them. No energy readings, no signs of life, nothing. Only the faintest hum of dormant power, almost like a heartbeat waiting to be awakened. Curious, Elias muttered, his eyes gleaming with excitement. His human instincts thrived on exploration. Aliens often hesitated in places like this, afraid of ancient technology and long-forgotten systems. But humans had an unmatched drive to uncover, to tinker, to understand. And Elias was no exception. He carefully maneuvered his small salvage vessel closer to the enormous ship. The closer he got, the more awe-inspiring it became. Panels of metal, engraved with symbols unknown to any modern alien race, stretched for kilometers. The ship was ancient, perhaps predating most galactic empires. Elias couldn't help but feel a shiver of anticipation. He had stumbled upon something extraordinary. "Computer," he said, his voice calm but eager, "run a full scan of the vessel. Look for entry points and any signs of power." The ship's AI responded, "Scanning now, Captain Monroe." A soft hum filled the cockpit as the instruments began their work. Data flowed across the screens, revealing a labyrinth of corridors, chambers, and energy conduits. Most of the ship's systems were dormant, but some residual energy lingered deep within the core. "This ship, it's alive in some way," Elias whispered. He had seen many ancient ships before, but none like this. It was as if the vessel was waiting for someone, waiting for him. After hours of scanning, he found an access port. The hatch was massive but unlocked, responding to his human ingenuity with surprising ease. He suited up and activated the external transport system. Within moments, he floated inside the vessel. The interior was a marvel. Alien architecture twisted in ways his human mind could barely comprehend. The walls glowed faintly, not from power, but from some luminescent material that seemed to remember the ship's creators long after they had vanished. The corridors were vast, and the silence pressed in on him, almost like the ship itself was holding its breath. As he wandered deeper, Elias noticed a small console. Unlike the rest of the ship, it pulsed softly with a pale blue light, as if sensing his presence. He crouched, brushing his gloved hand over the symbols. The console reacted immediately, lights flaring, panels shifting, and a faint hum vibrating through the floor. Elias' heart raced. "Hello," he said, unsure if anyone or anything would answer. A voice echoed in the chamber. It was melodic, yet mechanical, unfamiliar, yet strangely warm. "Who is this?" Elias froze. I'm Elias Monroe, human, explorer, salvager." There was a pause, long and careful. Human, unexpected. He smiled, feeling that familiar human spark of wonder. "I guess I'm full of surprises," he said lightly. The ship hummed, almost as if considering him. "Why awake me?" the voice asked, curiosity tinged in its tone. "I didn't know I would," Elias admitted. I saw you. I had to know what you were." The voice paused again. Curiosity, human trait, strong, not seen often. Elias felt a thrill. The ship, after centuries of silence, was talking to him, and it acknowledged the human trait that had always set them apart: curiosity. Humans didn't wait. They explored, they questioned, they acted. "I don't know your name," Elias said. "Do you have one?" "Name forgotten," the voice replied. "I am the last of my creator's fleet, dormant until now." Elias stepped back, overwhelmed. "The last of your fleet? You mean all your people are gone?" "Yes, vanished." Ship remained, waiting for who? "Apparently me," Elias said with a grin. "Lucky me, I guess." The ship pulsed again, light spreading through the hallways as its dormant systems flickered to life. Panels shifted, revealing control mechanisms Elias could barely comprehend. He ran his hands along them, touching alien metals, feeling energy flow through the very walls. Human touch unique, the ship murmured. Sensors detect creativity, innovation, adaptation. Human valuable. Elias laughed softly. Well, I like to think we humans are useful. The ship's voice vibrated, almost amused. Useful, yes. Unique, yes. Alive again, thanks human. Hours passed as Elias explored further. He found chambers filled with strange technology, libraries of holographic data, and rooms that defied physics. The more he saw, the more he realized the magnitude of what he had discovered. This wasn't just a ship. It was a treasure trove of knowledge from a civilization far beyond anything known in the galaxy. Yet, it was silent for centuries, waiting. And now it had chosen a human to awaken it. Elias paused in front of a massive holographic map. Stars, systems, and strange anomalies flickered in the light. "You've traveled far," he said. "Why wait? Why remain silent?" The ship's voice was quiet, almost sorrowful. No one remained, no one to guide, no one to understand. Elias looked at the console, feeling the weight of history pressing down. Maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe humans are meant to be the ones to continue your mission, to explore, to learn, to share. The ship hummed thoughtfully. Perhaps, yes, human awakens possibilities, potential exceeds expectation. Elias' mind raced with ideas. Ancient technology, long-forgotten knowledge, alien wisdom, this was more than he had ever dreamed of finding. But he also felt a responsibility. If humans were to awaken what had lain dormant for centuries, he had to do it carefully, respectfully, with intelligence and curiosity. "Let's start simple," he said aloud. "We'll explore together. You teach me what you can and I'll help you wake up fully. Sound fair?" "Agreed," the ship said. "Human begins journey, awakening together." Elias smiled, feeling the warmth of a new partnership. The silence of the ancient ship was gone. It hummed, alive, curious, and ready to share its secrets. For the first time in centuries, it had purpose again. He moved deeper into the corridors, discovering a strange chamber filled with holographic projections of stars, planets, and ships. "Looks like a navigation room," he said, examining the controls. "I can read this, I think." "Human interprets symbols efficiently," the ship said. "Your logic, creativity, remarkable." Elias chuckled. "I'll take that as a compliment." As he explored, he noticed tiny details, traces of the ship's creators, artifacts of a civilization long extinct, and technology beyond imagination. Yet the ship remained calm, letting him touch, examine, and understand. He realized that humans had a unique ability to awaken possibilities simply by being curious, by daring to explore, by asking questions others wouldn't. Hours became days, and Elias felt a connection forming. The ship was no longer just a relic. It was a companion, an intelligent being with purpose, responding to his human intuition and creativity. He felt honored, excited, and deeply aware of the responsibility resting on his shoulders. Finally, he paused in a chamber filled with a strange energy core humming softly. "So, we've done the first step," he said. "You're awake, and now I think we can do something amazing together." The ship pulsed, a soft glow spreading through the halls. "Human awakens, future, potential, infinite." Elias smiled, feeling the thrill of discovery he had chased all his life. The galaxy was full of wonders, but this, the awakening of an ancient starship through human ingenuity, was something extraordinary. And he knew, deep down, that this was only the beginning. The silence of space no longer felt empty. It was full of possibility, waiting for humans to shape it. And for the first time in centuries, the ancient ship had a guide it could trust, a human. Elias Monroe had never felt so alive. The ancient ship, silent for centuries, was now awake, responding to his every movement. Its corridors glowed faintly, humming with energy, as if the ship itself was curious about this human who had dared to awaken it. He moved cautiously, yet eagerly, through the vast halls. Every step revealed something extraordinary. Panels of unknown metals that shifted when touched, walls engraved with glowing symbols that seemed to tell stories, and chambers filled with technology beyond human understanding. Yet, despite its age, the ship felt aware, alive, and aware of him. "You move efficiently," the ship said, its voice a melodic hum in the corridors. "Your presence, unique. Your curiosity sparks adaptation." Elias smiled. "I like to think humans are good at figuring things out, especially when no one else is around." The ship's lights pulsed almost approvingly. Human logic, creativity, unpredictable, valuable, rare. Elias had spent years exploring the galaxy, salvaging lost technology and mapping forgotten systems, but nothing prepared him for this. The ship was not just a vessel, it was a library, a laboratory, a record of a civilization long gone, and it was eager to share its secrets if only he could understand them. He entered a chamber that appeared to be the ship's central library. Holographic panels flickered to life, displaying star charts, strange symbols, and diagrams of alien devices. Elias ran his fingers along the controls, feeling the hum of dormant energy beneath his touch. "These charts, they're incredible," he whispered. "This is more information than any civilization should ever have in one place." "You understand partially," the ship said. "Your interpretation limited by human knowledge, but adaptation learning possible." Elias grinned. "Then I guess I'll just have to learn, and fast." Hours passed as he deciphered some of the symbols. He realized that the ship had been built not only to travel, but to explore and record the galaxy's wonders. Its creators had been scientists, artists, and explorers, leaving behind technology that could manipulate energy, create sustainable environments, and even map the flow of cosmic phenomena. "What happened to your creators?" Elias asked quietly. "Extinction, sudden galaxy changed. Ship remained waiting for one to awaken potential," the voice said. "Human chosen curiosity awakens." Elias felt a thrill. Humans had done what no other race had managed. They had awoken a relic older than most civilizations. They had sparked life into something that had been silent for centuries. He moved to another chamber, filled with strange, floating orbs of light. Each orb contained data, images of planets, alien creatures, star systems. Elias reached out and touched one. Instantly it expanded, filling the room with a holographic simulation. "Fascinating," he breathed. He could see the landscapes, the skies, the flowing rivers of alien worlds. "This is beautiful." "Beauty recorded, preservation mission creators," the ship said. "Human assists, interpretation, understanding." Elias laughed softly. "I never thought I'd be a teacher for a ship, but I guess I am." The days passed quickly. Elias explored every accessible chamber, each filled with wonders and mysteries. He discovered rooms designed for environmental simulation, where entire alien ecosystems could be studied. Laboratories contained tools that could manipulate matter, heal wounds, and even recreate extinct species, DNA. "You learn quickly," the ship said. "Human creativity accelerates, adaptation, potential, growth." Elias felt proud but also humbled. The ship was teaching him as much as he was teaching it. It adapted to his methods, learned from his human intuition, and even anticipated his needs. In return, he learned to operate systems no human had touched in thousands of years. One day, he discovered a hidden chamber, deep within the heart of the ship. The door opened slowly, revealing a massive star map projected into the air. It was unlike anything he had seen: stars, systems, and routes to places uncharted by any galactic civilization. This is incredible," Elias said. He floated closer, examining the intricate details. "You've mapped the galaxy, even places we don't know exist yet." Mapping, preservation, preparation, creators, mission incomplete, the ship said. Human awakens, continuation, potential infinite. Elias realized the weight of the task. The ship had been waiting for someone to continue its mission, to explore, to learn, to share knowledge with the galaxy. And it had chosen a human capable of curiosity, innovation, and courage. Over the following days, the ship and Elias began to work together more seamlessly. He repaired dormant systems, activated environmental controls, and even helped the ship interface with distant communication networks. Aliens from nearby sectors began to notice. Reports of a human working with an ancient ship spread quickly. Many came to study, but few could truly understand. Only a human could awaken what the ship had been waiting for. One morning, while examining a chamber filled with energy conduits, Elias paused. "Lumina, do you ever miss them, your creators?" The ship's voice was soft. "Memory-preserved creators, gone human, awakens purpose, continuation, hope." Elias nodded. He understood. The ship was lonely, waiting for someone to continue its mission, and he was that someone. Humans were uniquely suited for this role, not because of strength or power, but because of their curiosity and courage. Their ability to explore, to question, to innovate, that was something no other race possessed in the same way. As days turned into weeks, Elias discovered more wonders. He activated a room that simulated alien weather systems, learning how to stabilize environments on distant planets. Another chamber contained holographic records of civilizations that had risen and fallen. Each discovery reminded him of humanity's potential to learn, to preserve, and to explore. "You inspire adaptation, growth human," the ship said one evening. "Potential exceeds expectation." Elias smiled, floating in the glow of the chamber. "I guess that's what humans do. We push forward even when the odds are against us. We learn, we adapt, we explore." The ship pulsed, lights brightening in agreement. Human awakens, future, possibilities infinite. Then came the day Elias discovered the most astonishing chamber yet. It was deep within the ship, heavily shielded and almost invisible to the sensors. The door slid open to reveal a collection of strange devices and a massive, glowing core. The energy radiating from it was unlike anything he had ever felt, pure, ancient, and powerful. This is incredible," he whispered. He approached carefully, feeling the hum of energy in his body. "What is this?" "Core, source, energy, creators, preservation, adaptation," the ship said. "Human interface, potential, awakening, mission continues." Elias reached out and touched the core. A surge of information flowed into him, not just data, but understanding. He saw visions of ancient civilizations, technologies, and discoveries long forgotten. And through it all, he realized something important. The ship was not just a vessel. It was a bridge between the past and the future, and humans were meant to walk that bridge. For hours, he explored the chamber, absorbing knowledge and learning the ship's full capabilities. And all the while, the ship responded to him, adapting, learning, and preparing for the future. Finally, Elias stepped back, feeling a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. "We've done it," he said softly. "We've started something incredible together." The ship pulsed warmly, lights spreading through the corridors. "Human awakens, knowledge, potential, future, partnership, infinite." Elias smiled. He knew the galaxy would never be the same. Humans had a role to play, curious, brave, and inventive. And he had just begun to discover what that role could be. Outside, the stars twinkled, vast and endless. Inside, an ancient ship hummed with life once more. And between them, a human and a vessel began a journey that would change the galaxy forever. Elias floated through the corridors, feeling the excitement of discovery, the joy of learning, and the thrill of adventure. He had awakened the ship, yes, but in doing so, he had awakened possibilities for humanity as well. The journey was only beginning. And for the first time, the ancient ship was not alone. It had a human to guide it. The ancient ship was alive. Its vast corridors pulsed with light, energy flowing through every conduit, every panel, every room. Captain Elias Monroe floated through the halls, feeling the hum of its systems beneath his fingertips. After weeks of exploration, learning, and discovery, he finally understood the true scale of what he had awakened. This was no ordinary vessel. It was a legacy, a bridge between a lost civilization and the future of the galaxy. "Lumina," he said, using the name he had given the ship, "I think we're ready." "Ready to explore?" the ship asked. Its voice was calm, yet filled with anticipation. "Yes," Elias said, his eyes gleaming. "There's a galaxy out there waiting for us. New worlds, new civilizations, wonders that no one has ever seen, and I think humans can help you share them." The ship pulsed in response, and with a gentle hum, it adjusted its trajectory. The stars outside stretched into brilliant streaks of light as they jumped into faster-than-light travel. Elias felt the familiar thrill of speed, but this time it was magnified by the knowledge that he was riding a vessel centuries older than any human ship, guided by intelligence far beyond his own. As they traveled, the ship revealed more of its capabilities. It could analyze entire star systems in moments, simulate environments for planets yet uninhabited, and store knowledge about species long forgotten. Elias learned quickly, his human mind absorbing information at a pace even he did not expect. "You adapt efficiently," Lumina said. "Human creativity accelerates understanding potential." Elias grinned. "We humans have always been good at learning, but I have to say I'm learning more from you than I ever thought possible." Days turned into weeks as they journeyed to uncharted systems. Elias marveled at nebulae that glowed like giant cosmic paintings, at planets with rings of crystal, and at stars pulsing with life energy he had never known existed. Each discovery brought new questions, and each question strengthened the bond between human and ship. One day, Lumina paused near a small, uncharted planet. Its surface was covered in dense forests, glowing rivers, and mountains that shimmered with unknown minerals. "Human this world pristine, unspoiled potential study?" the ship asked. Elias floated closer to the viewport. "It's incredible. Let's study it carefully. Who knows what we might learn?" They spent hours observing the planet, collecting data, and simulating its ecosystems. Elias realized that humans could approach these discoveries differently from other species. Where aliens often feared the unknown, humans embraced it. They were curious, inventive, and willing to adapt in ways others could not. As the ship collected data, Lumina began to communicate not just with Elias but with other civilizations. Hollow communications projected across sectors, showing the ancient vessel moving through space, guided by a human captain. Aliens watched in awe. Some were skeptical, but many recognized a truth they could not deny. Humanity had a unique gift. "They respect you human," Lumina said. "Their curiosity limited, yours exceptional potential infinite." Elias nodded. He felt a deep pride, not arrogance but understanding. Humans had always been explorers, dreamers, builders, and problem solvers. And now, across the galaxy, that potential was becoming visible in a way it never had before. Weeks later, they approached a star system at the edge of a nebula. Sensors detected a natural phenomenon, a massive energy surge threatening to destabilize nearby planets. Aliens in nearby systems had tried to understand it, but none could find a solution. "Human potential required analysis?" Lumina asked. Elias studied the data. He could see the patterns, the flow of energy, and the way it interacted with the planets. "I think I have an idea," he said, heart racing. "We can use the ship's energy fields to stabilize the system, redirect the surge gradually so no planet is harmed." Human proposes solution, unobserved, efficiency, creativity remarkable, Lumina said. Working together, Elias and the ship carefully manipulated the energy, channeling it safely into space. Slowly, the system stabilized. Planets stopped shaking, atmospheres cleared, and the stars above shone steadily once more. Elias exhaled, feeling a rush of triumph. "We did it," he said, "together." "Human demonstrates ingenuity, problem-solving, unique potential confirmed," Lumina replied. Word of the event spread quickly. Across the galaxy, aliens marveled at the human who had guided the ancient ship and prevented a disaster that had stumped even the most advanced civilizations. Humans were no longer just curious explorers. They were problem solvers, innovators, and leaders by example. As they continued their journey, Elias discovered even more wonders. He activated chambers that could simulate alien cultures, ecosystems, and even extinct species. He experimented with energy manipulation, creating small protective environments for planets on the verge of collapse. He learned from Lumina, but he also taught the ship new ways to think, ways that no alien AI had considered before. "Human thinking, creativity expands, understanding limitless," Lumina said. Elias smiled. "We humans like to find solutions that others don't even imagine. I think you're learning that too." Then came a moment that would define the future of the galaxy. Deep in a dense nebula, they discovered an ancient archive, an entire library of alien knowledge preserved for millennia. The moment Elias accessed it, he realized that humans could bridge the gap between civilizations, learning from the past to guide the future. This is incredible," he whispered. "So many species, so much knowledge lost until now. Human awakens potential, unites past, future, infinite," Lumina said. Elias worked tirelessly, cataloging the knowledge, learning its secrets, and preparing to share it responsibly. He realized that humans had a responsibility, not to dominate but to inspire, to explore, to learn, and to help others do the same. One evening, as they traveled through a starfield sparkling with nebula dust, Elias reflected on everything that had happened. The ancient ship, once silent and dormant, was now alive with purpose. He had awakened it. Together they had explored wonders, solved impossible problems, and begun to reveal the galaxy's hidden truths. "Lumina," he said, "I think we've done something important, not just for us but for the whole galaxy. Humans maybe were meant to be explorers, teachers, problem solvers, and this ship, you're the perfect partner." The ship pulsed warmly, light spreading throughout its massive corridors. "Human, awakens, legacy, continuation, infinite, potential, guidance, appreciated." Days passed. Together, Elias and Lumina traveled to uncharted worlds, discovered alien civilizations, and shared knowledge where it was welcome. Aliens began to respect humans not just for their physical abilities, but for their courage, creativity, and ingenuity. Across star systems, stories of the human who had awakened an ancient ship spread like starlight. One day, while observing a star cluster, Elias realized something profound. Humanity had always been underestimated. Many civilizations saw humans as fragile, unpredictable, or simple. Yet here he was, guiding a vessel older and more advanced than any known, solving problems no one else could, and exploring possibilities no other species dared to touch. "They underestimated us," he said quietly, "but they'll learn. Human inspires admiration, potential, confirmed influence growing," Lumina replied. Weeks turned into months. Elias and the ship discovered planets rich with resources, stars that held ancient secrets, and civilizations that welcomed guidance. Everywhere they went, humans were seen in a new light, curious, brave, intelligent, and capable of awakening potential that had lain dormant for centuries. Finally, Elias returned to the first sector where he had discovered the ship. He floated in the observation deck, watching the stars, feeling a sense of pride and accomplishment. The galaxy was vast, full of wonders and mysteries, and humanity had a place in it. They had awakened what was lost, they had inspired others, and they had proven that curiosity, courage, and ingenuity could shape the future. "Lumina," he said softly, this is just the beginning. Together, we'll explore the galaxy, learn its secrets, and show that humans were capable of incredible things. Human, awakens legacy, infinite potential, future assured, the ship replied. And so the journey continued. The ancient ship, once silent for centuries, now traveled across the galaxy with a human at its helm. Together, they discovered wonders, solved challenges, and inspired civilizations. The stars outside were no longer just points of light, they were possibilities. Each one a world to explore, a secret to uncover, a story to tell. And humans, with their unique curiosity and courage, were the spark that could awaken them all. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy felt alive, not just with the energy of stars, but with the potential of humanity. And the ancient ship, once dormant and forgotten, had found its true purpose. It had found a human, and together they were unstoppable.